Good afternoon, everyone. Today we are going to discuss about the topic translation. But before that, let us talk about the basic structure of tRNA. tRNA is also known as transfer RNA or its other name is adapter RNA. Now, let me tell you what is its use in the process of translation. As you know that mRNA is there and this mRNA contains the information that which protein is going to be synthesized. It is having codons. Genetic code we have discussed, right? So codons are present like this. Suppose AUG. I told you that AUG is the starting codon. From here, the process of translation or the process of protein synthesis will start. Then in between there will be more codons. Codons, they are triplet in nature. And then there will be a stop codon. That I told you it could be UAA, UAG or UGA. These all are stop codons. If they will come, then the process of translation or the process of protein synthesis will get stopped. So suppose here UGA is present. So this is an mRNA or this can be said as translational unit which is having an initiator codon, all the codons in between that are going to form amino acids that basically contains the information regarding the type of amino acid that is going to be produced, and then at the last there is stop codon. Now on the mRNA genetic code is present. Okay, according to this genetic code amino acids they are supposed to come. AUG it codes for methionine. So now methionine is supposed to come. But the amino acid cannot read this code. Methionine it cannot read AUG. It cannot come on its own. So this function is performed by tRNA. tRNA will come. It will read this code. Okay. And then after reading the code, it will bring the methionine. This is what is going on. So this is the function of tRNA. It reads the genetic code that is present on the mRNA and then it brings the amino acid that is complementary to this genetic code. Clear? Now, if I'll talk about the structure of the tRNA, then its structure in two-dimensional. It is clover leaf like. Let me make it structure. This is the structure of tRNA. One is 3' and the second one is 5' and. Okay, their nitrogen bases are there. A, G, C, U. Okay. And if I talk about its 3D structure and then in the three-dimensional, it looks like the alphabet L. In two-dimensional, it looks like the clover leaf-like structure and in 3D, it looks like the letter L. Okay, now if I talk about its parts, then one arm is there that is known as anticodon loop. Anticodon loop. Now what does this mean? Let me explain it with the diagram. Like we are having this mRNA, AUG is there, right? Now, suppose this tRNA corresponds to this. Then in the anticodon loop, it will be having the anticode. Codon is AUG, so it will be having for A, U. For U, it will be having A, and for G, it will be having C. In the body, different type of tRNA are present, and they are specific for a code. This tRNA can only and only read AUG because this is complementary. Anticodon you can just see AUG and here UAC, A with U, U with A and G with C. Am I clear? This tRNA in which the anticodon loop is having UAC code, it can bind only and only, it can read only and only AUG. So like for all the different codons, different tRNA molecules are there. tRNA, they are specific. Okay. And this tRNA, as it is going to bind with AUG. AUG, you know that it is the initiator codon. So this tRNA which is going to bind with AUG, it is known as initiator tRNA. Clear? Now with this anticodon site, it will bind here. Am I clear? Like this. A will be complementary to U with A and G with C. Okay, so like this. This is the anticodon loop. And this tRNA is known as the initiator tRNA as it is binding with the AUG. Now, next point, this arm, it is known as amino acid attachment group or loop. Now, what will happen with the help of the anticodon loop? It will read the code, okay, and at this loop, at this end, amino acids they are going to bind. Okay, you know that what is the function of tRNA? It will read the codon and then it will bring the amino acid. So by this loop, it will read the code, and by this end, it will bring the amino acid, and amino acid is going to bind with this end. Am I clear? Now, let us talk about how the process of translation is going on. So now, the process of translation, it takes place in 3 steps: initiation, elongation and termination. Initiation. Okay, what is translation? Translation is a process by which proteins are made in the body with the help of this mRNA. Okay, the mRNA is having the genetic information, it is read by the tRNA, and then proteins are made. Or you can say there is polymerization of the polypeptide chain. Now, translation includes 3 steps: initiation, elongation, and last one is termination. Now one by one let us talk about these in detail. Okay, so firstly we are having mRNA, tRNA, rRNA. These all are required for the process of translation. mRNA, it is having the code. The sequence of the nucleotides on the mRNA will tell the sequence of the amino acids that are going to be made in the protein. Clear? So this is the mRNA and it contains the genetic code like this. In the starting there will be AUG for sure. AUG. Suppose here G, C, C is there. Then C, G, A, like this. And at the last, U, A, suppose. Fine. Now what will happen in the initiation process? Firstly, as you know that we are having tRNA. Then we are having amino acid. Now what will happen in the initiation process? This amino acid, let me erase this. What is happening in the initiation? These amino acids, they are getting activated. Why and how? How these amino acids are getting activated? As they are reacting and they are binding with the ATP. Okay, amino acid is there, they react with the ATP, and this takes place in the presence of an enzyme, amino acid acyl transferase. Okay, now what will happen? Magnesium ions are also involved in this. Now it results in the formation of amino acid AMP. Okay, 2 pyrophosphate, they will get released out. Amino acid AMP enzyme complex. Clear? It will form amino acid AMP enzyme complex plus pyrophosphate, it will be released out. This is known as activation of amino acids. They are binding and results in the formation of amino acid AMP enzyme complex. Okay, now this amino acid AMP enzyme complex, it will bind with the tRNA. Amino acids, they don't directly bind with the tRNA. Firstly, they are getting activated. After that, they are binding with the tRNA. So now this is going to bind with the tRNA. That is amino acid AMP enzyme complex. Now it will bind with the tRNA. And it results in the formation of amino acid tRNA complex. Okay, the AMP and enzyme, they will be released out. Amino acid tRNA complex. The same enzyme that was used in the activation of amino acid, it has been used here as a catalyst. Okay, now this amino acid tRNA complex, it has been formed. Now this is known as charged tRNA. Okay, this tRNA is known as charged tRNA. This is the first step, that is initiation. Okay, now what will happen in the initiation only after this? After the charging of the tRNA. Now let us come back to the mRNA. So now there is mRNA. This mRNA is having the genetic information, or you can say the codons. Suppose I am making AUG is present. Okay. Now what will happen? Firstly, the smaller unit of ribosome will attach. As you know that ribosomes, these are the cell organelles that are responsible for the protein synthesis. And as we are going to synthesize proteins only, so obviously ribosomes, they will play an important role. And ribosomes, they are made up of rRNA. So now what will happen if I'll talk about the ribosome in further? Ribosomes, they are having two subunits. One is the smaller one and second one is the larger one. So firstly what will happen, the smaller unit of the ribosome, it will get attached. If I'll talk about the eukaryotes, then in the mRNA, you know that at the 5' end, this is 5' to 3' suppose, at the 5' end you know that there is a cap, right? There is a capping. We have discussed about it in earlier classes. Now what will happen, this cap, it will guide the smaller subunit where to attach. Now the smaller subunit of the ribosome will get attached here. Clear? Now the tRNA will come that has been charged. The charged DNA, the charged tRNA we have discussed now, that will come here. Like this. Clear? A, so it will be having U, A and C. That what I told you, tRNA are specific. Only this can bind with this, not any other kind of the charged tRNA. Clear? Because it is having the anticodon of this codon. Clear? Now, what will happen next? The larger subunit of the ribosome, it will bind now. But before that, let me talk about a basic structure of the larger subunit of the ribosome. This is the smaller subunit of the ribosome, charged tRNA. Now we are left with the larger subunit. But if I talk about the basic structure of the larger subunit of ribosome, then it is having three sites. Okay. E, P, A. Is it fine? Now, this larger subunit will fit here in such a manner that this charged tRNA, it will come in the P site. Okay, this will fit here in such a way that this charged tRNA will fit in the P site. Let me make it. This is the larger subunit. Just see here. Okay, here suppose E is there. I have to make it a little big. Actually, my tRNA is a little big. Here E is there. Now P site will accommodate this tRNA. Am I clear what I want to say? The tRNA is a little bigger, that's why it seems like that. APA. So now this is initiation. Now what happens in the elongation? As you know that this is the charged tRNA, so obviously it is having the amino acid. Here at this arm, it is having amino acid. For AUG, it will be having methionine. Or let me write it first amino acid. That would be easier. First amino acid. Is that fine? Now what will happen? Just understand it carefully. Now this larger subunit, it will jump. Okay, now when it will jump, just imagine what will happen. But before that, there is one step. You can see that P portion is being occupied by the charged tRNA, but this A portion is empty, right? Now what will happen? The next codon is there. Suppose next codon is CCG. Suppose CCG. Again what will happen? A charged tRNA will come, and that charged tRNA will be having anticodon of this. As you know that tRNA, they are specific. Now that tRNA will occupy this A site. Okay, let me make it here. Let me make it a little bigger then. like this. We are having A site. Fine. Now the next tRNA, charged tRNA, that is having anticodon of this, it will be here like this. Clear? For C, here it will be present G, for C, G, and for G, C. Is it fine? Now, after this, what will happen, as this tRNA is specific to this, so it will be having second amino acid. Now, what will happen, just understand carefully. This amino acid here, amino acid 1, it will detach from here. Okay, it will get detached. And now it will come and make a peptide bond with this second amino acid. Am I clear? This amino acid will detach from here and it will make a peptide bond with the second amino acid. Now, what will happen in the next step of the elongation? This larger subunit of ribosome, this is the larger subunit. This is the larger subunit of ribosome. This is the smaller subunit, and this is the mRNA having the code. Now this larger subunit, it will jump. Now understand what will happen when it will jump. Where EPA, where P site was present, now what will happen here, E will be present. Just imagine it will jump. Okay. Now here E site will be present, P site will be present, and now here A site will be present. Am I clear with this? Now, let me make it clear with a diagram. Now, if it will jump, E site will come here. Okay. P site will come here. And A site will come here. Are you getting? It is jumping. So it is moving one step ahead. Earlier E site was here. Now E site will come on the code AUG. Am I clear? Now P site will come on the code CCG. It will move ahead, one step ahead. Now just see what will happen. This is the larger subunit. Now it has moved. Okay, when it will move, obviously the mRNA will move with it because it is attached with the mRNA. But still, let me make it now here. E site is there, P and A. Is it fine? Now just think. E site will come on this codon AUG. You can see. Let me make it a little bit concise to make it clear to you. AUG. Clear? Now next we are having CCG. It will come on the P side. And obviously the mRNA is attached, so mRNA is also moving. The smaller subunit is also moving. Now, that I told you in the previous diagram, the charged tRNA having the 2 amino acids. If you do remember, that was in the A site. But now as it has moved ahead, one step ahead, now that will come in the P site. Earlier, do remember, the charged tRNA having the 2 amino acids, it was at the A site. But now it will come at the P site. Am I clear with this? Now let me make it the charged tRNA. It was having the anticodon for this C, G, G, C. And it was having amino acid peptide that we have discussed, right? Now, what will happen? The first one, it will come here. The charged tRNA, where now no amino acid is there, it will come here. It was having for A, it was having U. For U, it was having A, and for G, it was having C. Only one thing is happening, the larger subunit, it has jumped and it has moved ahead. And obviously the smaller subunit is attached with it, mRNA is attached with it. So everyone has moved a step ahead. Now, A site is again empty. Is it fine? Now again what will happen? A site, obviously it is present on a codon. Suppose the codon is UGC. Let it be UGA. Suppose the codon is UGA. Now what will happen again? The charged tRNA will come on the A site. So here let me make the charged tRNA. Now this charged tRNA, it will be having the anticodon of this and the amino acid for this. That's why it is charged tRNA. This is amino acid. Clear? Now, for U it will be having A, for G it will be having C, and for A, U. Like this. Again the same thing will happen. There will be breakage of the bond from here. Now these dipeptide is free. These two amino acids are free. Now they are going to make bond with this amino acid. Now these three amino acids, they has been joined. So like in the similar way, the process of elongation will keep on going. Now again the larger subunit will jump. When it will jump, now what will happen? Just imagine this E site, it will come here. Means this tRNA, it will go in the cytoplasm. It will mix in the other tRNA. Okay, now E site will come here. Now this tRNA will be in the E site. And this will be in the P site. And A site will be here. And now the A site will again be empty. Am I clear? It will move ahead. E site will come here. Now this tRNA will be present in the E site. This will be present in the P site. And now here A site will come. And now again the A site will be empty. Again the same process will be there. Elongation will be there. A site is empty. Now again a charged tRNA will come, which is having the anticodon. In the similar way it is going on. Amino acids will keep on joining by the peptide bond. Like 3 we have joined. It will keep on processing in the similar way. And at last what will happen? At the last. Okay, I have done one mistake. Here I have taken a stop codon. UGA is a stop codon. UGA is a stop codon. It cannot be read by the tRNA. There is no tRNA for UGA. Is it fine? So let me replace the UGA with any other codon. Otherwise this is wrong. Let me make it AGC. Okay. So now here the anticodon will be for A, U will be there. For G, C will be there. And for C, G will be there. Am I clear? Now suppose it will keep on doing the process like this. It will keep on jumping. The A site will keep on becoming vacant. And there will be inclusion of the charged tRNA that will be complementary. Now, there will be a stage when it will encounter the stop codon like UGA. I have written it but that was wrong. Now, it will keep on jumping. Now what will happen one time? The A site will come on this. Am I clear? Now, this is a stop codon. It can't be read. There is no tRNA. So the A site will come here. But now there is no charged tRNA. There is no tRNA for the stop codon. Now what will happen is sigma factor will come. Now that factor, what it will do? sorry, a releasing factor will come. Now what that releasing factor will do, that releasing factor will stop the process of the translation. Clear? And now we are having the polypeptide chain. Is it clear how there is formation of the protein or the peptide chain in the process of translation? Thank you.